panel joining me today is Jeremy Bash, MSNBC national security analyst and former chief of staff at the CIA and then at the Department of Defense. Elise Jordan, MSNBC political analyst, Time columnist and former advisor to Rand Paul's presidential campaign. And the Reverend Al, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation and president of the National Action Network. And then joining us from Washington, D.C. is Susan Glasser, international affairs columnist for Politico. Thank you all. Susan, I want to start with you. Your thoughts about the Vladimir Putin you saw today. You've covered him for a long time before he was daily dinner conversation around the dinner tables in this country. Did you see anything new out of him? Any sort of, like Keir was referencing a desire to sort of put more effort into his PR among his business community. Did you see anything that looked like greater effort or greater concern about how he's perceived in this country?
Well, it wasn't exactly a charm offensive, was it? I mean, you know, Putin has this unique combination of sort of victimization combined with aggressiveness. Right? You know, sort of on the one hand, everybody's beating up on Russia. On the other hand, you know, let's make fun of the West when they're having troubles. And he seemed at points in that conversation with Megyn Kelly almost to be, you know, very, very pleased and tickled even by the internal squabbles in NATO. And she asked him flat out about that. He said, yes, of course it's going to resound to Russia's benefit. But I want to make the point on the Russia sanctions thing. The thing that alarmed the diplomats inside the administration, and they were worried in the early days, I think, of President Trump, was the fear that actually not that there was a deal with Russia yet, but that Trump might even be prepared to make unilateral concessions. And I reported this back in January, that they were considering lifting the sanctions, and people weren't able to confirm it more at the time. So I think these new details really suggest that Trump came into office looking to have a major reset, even a grand bargain with Russia. He hasn't, for really internal political reasons, yet been able to kind of make that pivot. But I'm struck that Trump has never really backed away from that as a goal, even if he can't pursue it because of this investigation.
Jeremy, Susan says exactly what I feel like you've been getting at for months now, which is that this was always the plan. Some grand bargain with Vladimir Putin was always the plan. Why are we talking around it?
Yeah, we're just seeing the payoff now, Nicole. I mean, Putin is popular at home because he's getting his way. He put Lavrov and Kislyak into the Oval Office.
And they've been banned from the Oval Office of President Obama, right?
Previous presidents, that's right. And look at what happened in Brussels this past week. This is Moscow's dream, to see an American president stand before NATO allies and not invoke Article 5. So
So why is there any question anymore? Why is there a debate in this country about whether or not Putin was involved in the outcome of the 2016
Yeah, because
election?
we have to break this down a little bit. As Kelly noted, the White House publicly does not want to touch the issue of Russia. And Keir portrayed it as Putin stating, I relationships with Russia. But if you peel both those PR layers back, actually Russia and the Trump team have very good relations.